Everybody, rock your body and welcome to my show. Okay, that's plagiarism. No, I'm not plagiarizing. I was just, if I can sing the song, it's a song when I came to the United States. It was a big hit by Backstreet Boys, I think. Yeah. Uh, and welcome back. And I'm a little scruffy. I didn't really take a shave. I was sleeping half of the day, sitting here, and woke up. I had a fantastic time. After that, I didn't really had my full one-time meal yet. So I'm working on that. Seriously working on that. I sat here again and I thought, okay, I may write some stuff. I was thinking about going through some stuff, which I may briefly talk about later in the show if there is enough time for us to do that. But what I am trying to do here right now is this Escape the Deceptive World poem, which came a little before all these so-called latest chaos started. The latest chaos for me, from my perspective, started with after the New Year, which was a very peaceful time. Even though there was fluffy situations during the New Year party, but that's often happens. But what was I was talking about was uh, by about the third week things started kind of tilting. I thought the tilt is happening towards some good purpose and something great is going to come out of it all. But then I understood, okay, it is going south. I mean, south and gone. I mean, that's what exactly happened. The times before that, right now does not exist. Well, it should not. However, we really wish, even though it was not the greatest of the times, we really wish, even today, we wish we were there on, say, sometimes by the second or third, early third week of January. That's what, from my personal perspective, on January 25th, my mother passed away. And, a man who was telling, I'm not getting out of this house, I'm going to sit here, even to move snow. I said, okay, I need somebody to come and move my snow, and I called somebody, paid that person to actually move my snow. I was that lazy to even get my ass out into my front yard, So I was like, I'm done, man, I'm going to sit here and let things happen. And it happened to the worst of it. I'm laughing at it, right now, looking back at it, because we are still breathing. Not referring to anything, anybody. It's not just one person. Like I said, there was a roll of things that happened. That right as of today, killed more than 400,000 people. I don't know why it is. I don't know why this camera's light always, adjust. I think something about this camera is auto. It's auto focusing or auto lighting or something like that. Um, Now, after that situation, around that time, that's what I'm talking about in this poem, basically. I'm coming directly to the poem, a little bit, then we will go around that. Um, the initial part of the blog is, again telling, about, I've been writing a lot, but let me give you an idea about what it is. I wrote this, this is a time of transformations. Why I said it was a time of transformation is because I was seeing this, there is an energetic change that is happening, which I misjudged, and I'm sorry, and I sincerely apologize to anybody who got impacted by that. Uh, I encountered that scenario with the perspective that yeah, everything in the most positive vibes I can bring in, but then I know there is some transformation going on. It is like somebody long time back described to me. It is like a bird sitting on a tree or tree branch, and when the bird actually flies off it, the branch, even though much stronger than the bird, much and it's not just a strength, much resilient than the bird, it still is going to sway. So in the same way, when you actually have a transformation, I could have said that in a much easier way. When you take a gun and try to shoot at people, you know, no matter how powerful the gun is, a part of that gun is going to come back at you. It's called a recoil. But I said about the bird. I'm a much more peaceful person than a killer or a shooter. So said all that, when you do that, when transformations happens, when changes happens from one stage to another stage, there is going to be that recoil, or like the what happened to the branch. No matter how resilient you are, no matter how strong you are, no matter how emotionally fantastic you are. Let me mute this. This is going to make a lot of noise. Sitting right underneath it goes the chart. So no matter what you are at that point, you are going to end up in a very, very rough situation, um, because that change, the new things are coming to you, and some of the old things need to be let go. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Let me quick check on this. Um, so when that's what I'm saying. This is a time of transformation. Uh, I think, like I told in my last blog post, I like January's. It is a very turbulent time that is coming to. No matter how happy you are, during the holidays, starting from about the second week of January, from November, second or third week of November, say that Thanksgiving time, where all the people get together, no matter whether you have family or not, you just get together and have fantastic fun. I had a really nice time with my brother and my sister-in-law coming to Milwaukee, and we were only here for a couple of days, and we had a super time, and great food, and my cousin, in the end, my sister-in-law's cousin, who lives in New Berlin, she was in tears, when they were leaving, so we had that much fun. And then we go into the Christmas situation. Many people think that as a Muslim I don't really celebrate Christmas. That is the best time I had. Every time. I we have two major festivals in Islamic belief, and that those were the great times. But beyond that, even when I was in India, that time, towards the end of the year, there is no school because of the Christmas vacations, because I come from a state where there are a lot of Christians. So those times, right after there is a midterm examination in the school, and the schools closes for the Christmas and New Year, and only after New Year it will reopen. So we have tremendous fun at that time, and there is a festival in the temple. So here are three groups of set of things coming up. I'm from a upper middle class Muslim family, living very near to a temple where there's a big festival, and there is Christmas. So this whole thing will get blended together. There are Christmas carolers, who come and sing in front of your house. Santa will come, and he gives some small candies or something like that. Those are very cheap candies. My mother always says, "I'll buy you candies if you don't eat that." But still, they are made of ginger and some cookie dough thing. They actually make that, and it's very, very nice. Still, brings water to my mouth. That that was a very great time. So I enjoyed it even from a very, very young time, in a very, very younger age. Even though I don't religiously follow it, I go to my friends' places. My friends, one of my friends' mother specifically make cake for me, and my brothers. The reason is we don't eat or we don't consume alcohol, and many of the cakes have rum or other things, wine or things like that added to it. So they make a separate cake, without any alcohol. Imagine that, you know. And I don't know, but those are things we need to look back to and learn from. When people actually does things like that, so they actually specifically cook, and there are times they actually go and buy halal meat and cook, because Muslim people are coming to their house instead of non-halal meat. They actually say those meat, they are not halal. You don't have to eat, or those things are pork. Don't eat. They actually specifically cook for you. It's a very, very, very great time. So that's what I'm saying. I always, right after that, it is a time where you you think about all those, when you go to school, when you go to, when I was in college, or we go back there, go back to that, and we remember these things. Uh, and I'm not going to go deep into it. There were things, in January towards the end, it's a transformation time, where you are getting into that, new feeling. There is a new feeling. I cannot, deny that. In many ways, I say it's just another month. It's just another day. Right after December 31st. But still, the environment is changing. Most of the time, here also it will become very cold, and then you started kind of a little thaw, and here after that towards the end of January, then people, when you go to any store, you can see beautiful hearts, because everybody is preparing for Valentine's Day. So beautiful hearts and heart-shaped chocolates and candies, those kind of things. So it is a transformation time. uh, that's what I was actually saying. um, then I told something very, general in one sense. In Milwaukee and in Wisconsin, Packers lost. The Packers lost miserably in the championship. But that was like around that time, when things went woo, way out of control, because then my mother passed away and things like that. After the Packers loss, I came, and maybe I was outside, then I came in. Um, yeah, the next day, well, no, my there was a group call, that happened at that time, which I couldn't answer because I was at the game. Then next day I called my mother, and I talked to her. Then 2 days later I called her again, and I talked to her. No, she called me, and I talked to her, and I asked her, how she's like, very fine. 2 days after that, she passed away. So that transformational energy that was coming in. Now I learned one part. When that kind of a transformational energy is coming in, it may not always be positive, because I looked at this kind of transformational energy part. Okay, this is an analysis I did. Because when you are mourning and you are sitting at home, doing pretty much nothing, you are not even watching TV, you are in prayers for the person who departed. Uh, then I looked at it, all these times when major people from my family or major loved ones, my friends, I lost, actually three close friends in my life. One passed away when I was in India, when another one committed suicide, and a third person also had serious drinking problem, and he had a liver cirrhosis, another thing, and he passed away a couple of years back. It was a turbulent time. I have seen this happening in front of me. But when I looked at all these things, it all happened during such transformational times. Not only in January, there are other transformational times during the year, which I will come, down the road. We will know about that. That is a little bit of too much of a personal information, but we will come to all that. But during the time, that transformational time, you know, you will feel that. I mean, there is something going to happen, and there is something going to happen. So then I understood. Okay, when I have such a feeling that, yeah, this may not be very positive, and things may not really resonate, or whatever you call it, energetically with you. Let me drink a little bit of water. So things sitting there. So that's basically what I'm saying. And now I'm going to come to the person I'm referring to in this poem, Little Boss. As for Little Boss, a tarot reader recently told, she is thinking about you. She is seeing you in everything. She feels about you in whatever music she hears. I told myself, dang, that's me this woman is talking about. Because the energies can be reversed when you do something like that. When you do an astrological show or astrological reading or things like that, you may say something about a person, but it can be just a reverse on the other side. And that's what I said. I felt, this is me. I see little boss in almost everything. That is one of my issues that I face. Say, for example, whenever I go and I have I'm feeling good about something, immediate thing that comes into my mind, okay, and she's somewhere around me, or she's thinking about me, something like that. Because everything and anything that, in my conscious time, and even in when I was sleeping, probably, I am seeing her as part of that activity, or, whether it is good, whether it is sad, or whether it is, it makes you, feel upset, everything, she's part of it. That's why, you are in love with that person, then how that person sees you, in the same way or not, that is up to that person. I cannot control that. That is an individual, and we have to accept that fact, as well as we have to respect that fact. So that's what basically I'm saying. Is it the same for you? If so, what is stopping you? The end of this is something very important, because you need to pay very close attention from this point till the end. So how I handle that situation, because I was going in to such extent that, I know that it is putting some sort of a stress on me. Even when I'm sitting for 5 minutes and get up, I have neck pain. Then when I sleep, I wake up at least 2 3 times a night. I mean, not because of any age-old problem. I no, I wake up like at least 3 times. For apparently, I don't know whether I'm dreaming. I don't, recollect dreams these days. But maybe that is the case, or maybe I'm not breathing right. So I did a lot of things like, breathe helpers, breathe right, things like that. I put those things to see whether that is the problem. It's not. It's just something is bothering me at that time. Every moment, because then I understood this is kind of a stress that is coming up. So that's what I'm coming to. So the reason why I thought was, okay, the thing is, there are a lot of things I write, which is nothing but a little bit of a communication thing for to her. And those things is what I am actually getting into. Yes, it is not a direct communication. It stresses you. And that is a stress I'm facing. I understood that. And then that's where I was actually requesting her. Most of the people who read the blog, as is, you can see, there are ways in which you can communicate with me. I actually put poets social networks, so I actually put all the contact information at that time in my website. In case she don't remember it, she can come there, and she can communicate with me through WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or what is the name, email, or all the links are there. She can communicate with me through there. So we need to give help that. That's the best I can do. The next thing is, you're a smart girl, and you know how to reach me. And that's the thing. When somebody is actually seeking that, it's better. I actually put forward a line which she can connect to. That's what exactly that was. Then I said something which is, even though I said what I said there, I stand by what I said. I said, I am waiting, seeking forgiveness. I am not waiting with forgiveness. I am waiting, seeking forgiveness. Seeking forgiveness from her. She need to forgive me for any stress I may have given her. That's what actually I meant. It's not that seeking forgiveness. I'm not trying to give her forgiveness. No matter what you did, there is nothing for me to forgive, because I accept it. I accept it as is. And there is absolutely nothing wrong you did. That point. That's what actually I'm coming and saying. There is a point at which you may have to understand there is a differences of opinion on some facts, and that differences of opinion, no matter how you see it, it's putting a stress on somebody else, at least to a degree where that person is saying no. So it is a very simple one word no, but it needs some stress that goes on. That's what I'm seeking forgiveness for. You know, that's what exactly this basically where I that twisted everything, and I wrote this poem. We will come to the poem. Okay, now give me a breath of time. Uh, Generally speaking, we are talking directly, about two people coming in together. This may help others, who are in same kind of situation where there are not much of a communication going on. and even if you try to do any communication, it can all go backwards, and it will be a twisty situation. And it is a very tricky situation. Don't try to force this communication at all. Some people get drunk and drugged or whatever they do. They actually go and try to stress that, come on, you have to talk. The other person is going through something, which is not making that person talk, or communicate to you at all. There are hundreds and thousands of different ways you can communicate these days. I can easily say hundreds of thousands of things, but no, not exactly hundreds of thousands, but multiple ways. Like I said, instant messages, through your phone, directly calling the phone, send a text message, things like that, and it helps, people to really communicate to you. And those things helps in actually coming to a good understanding, like an email or a chat session or a video call with the other person. It helps you alleviate a lot of pressure, for yourself you're going through. You may be going through a specific situation or multiple situations, financial, career, things like that. It could have happened at that time, this time, every time. That is part of life. You cannot eliminate those things, and expect that everything else is going to be there in place. There's a famous saying in the TV show called Downton Abbey. It's called Downton Abbey. It is a British, ITV show, which I watched, and then I remember when two people are, like two sisters, like Lady Mary and Lady Edith, they were actually, they were having a tug of war. They don't like each other, they are like sibling rivalry at the heights. So this Lady Mary was actually talking to one man, and she was, I think, maybe trying to impress that person or something like that. But there is this other guy who is actually, trying to connect to her, and he's there, and she, ignores him and go to the other guy just to actually make sure that her sister don't connect to that man. So she actually talks to her. But in this time, the other guy who got totally ignored, he's like, I don't really care about all this. He walks out. Then Lady Mary turns around, and when that goes bust when she turns around, and nothing. And her dad at that time says, Mary has a feeling that you are playing with one toy and you leave the toy and go around and come back and expect the toy to be there. In the same way, but I am here. You should understand, in the same way, if you truly love a person, you stand your ground. It may be very hurtful. It may actually bring you disgrace. Many of your friends will even, spit on your face. Nobody spit on my face, but, I'm saying, it may even happen. Your family will actually, come and roll in front of you on the ground, butt naked to actually change your mind. You love a girl or you love a man, hold on to that strength, because you don't let go. There is this saying, you let go of something. If it is meant for you, it will come back for you. That is something which you should never do in a relationship. You don't let go. You don't let go of your lover, because love is a very, very, very tricky thing. Because when you let go, you are going to hurt that person. I know that from personal experience. I know that if you let go, it is not going to come back in the same shape. You stick with where you are. You stand your ground. It should come to you, and it is meant to come. If it is, you cannot simply say if it is meant. There is no if in love. There is absolutely no if in love. You see, when you love God, there is no if or but. When you love your mother and your father, there is no ifs or buts. When you love the person you love, there is no if or but. So in love, there is nothing like that. There is no if. If she loves me back, no, I don't care whether she loves me back. I love her. That's what matters to me. And no matter what happens, it should not change that love. You cannot change that love. When it is true and pure, when it comes and fits in your life, then there are no changes. That's what this is all about. That's what this whole idea about. Now, escape from escape the deceptive world, not from the. I should have actually said escape from the, but I'm saying not the from, because I thought about it. Took the from out, because escape the deceptive world. The deceptive world is not in your past. The deceptive world is in your present, and the deceptive world will be in the future. There is no change in that. You cannot go and change the world for your purpose. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Romance and love and relationships and career and everything get blended all together. Then you need see it all will get blended together. Then the next step you do is you bifurcate, you break this thing into where it truly belongs. Love and romance and things, it belongs in your heart. Then you should look and see where other things belong. Because when it comes to career and finances, I read in Native American saying, a little before. Maybe I should look into my phone. I don't know whether I think I can reach it out, read out loud. Seriously, I don't know who actually. I know it is Anna. Yeah, I will read it out there. You know, Only when the last tree has died, and the last river being poisoned, and the last fish being caught, will we realize we cannot eat money. So when it comes to the love and romance and relationships, whether the relationship is with your siblings, or whether it is with your parents, whether it is with your near relatives like cousins, whether it is with your lover or colleagues, each one has its place. You put those relationships in place. Nothing else comes in between that. Whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are you have a position, none of those things are going to have matter when it comes to that relationship. And that is also something which I know from first hand experience. When those relationships comes and they are going to stand unconditionally in front of you, and it is the greatest blessing you can get in this world. And in those actions and the feelings, you will truly find what is that divine presence in your life. That's where you find it. You look at all the other things. You can go to a church, you can go to a mosque, you can go to any temples or synagogue, wherever it is. You can kneel and roll around and you can jump up and down. Then still you may not find that divine feeling. Where do you find it? When you connect to people. That's what you are meant to do here. You connect to people. This is a game. This is a pastime. This place. The next place is where you actually go, and you'll understand when you go into that. Well, I'm not going to go deep into different religious aspects, because I cannot speak one religion in here, because multiple religions exist. So I can point just in case I can point out that this is my religious belief, but that is giving a propaganda to my own religion. That is not the idea about this channel. Maybe for that, if that is the case, I may have to start another channel for that purpose. Uh, that's where I'm going to end this thing. That part of the talk. Then what I'm coming down to is, okay, yeah. When we talk about these tarot reading things, which people are encouraging me to do, because they believe that I'm an intuitive person, and I don't know whether I am that intuitive to go to the greatest extent. Yesterday you have seen the guy who is doing the tarot. I don't know whether I can do anything like that, but I still will do. I don't want to disappoint these people. But there is a big part. A lonely poet will not be doing it. I may actually have the Sajimon Ashan, separate channel, which I'm going to actually pull it together. I will only do it there, because this is a poetry channel. I don't want 100,000 people coming in here. I hope 100,000. If I get 100 people, then But those 100 people who may be joining this channel, they should be joining it for the purpose of what it meant to be, which is poetry. If if only 16 people enjoying my poetry, I only need 16 people. I'm not asking any money or anything. I'm not asking money even in the other side. No. But this the purpose of this channel is poetry, and I have to stay with that. And if there is anything else I'm doing, I will make another channel and use that channel for that purpose. Instead of mixing it all together, then I don't know, when I'm actually reciting a poem in Lonely Poet, the other guy will be saying, hey, I came here for tarot, man. No. Or when I'm actually doing a tarot show, people will come and say, hey, I didn't come here to see your tarot show or your psychic show, mocking people. This is just a mockery of everything, making fun of things. That's not what I came in here for. I'm here to actually read your poems. So there you go. That's why in lonelypoet.com, where I don't really actually say anything else. Even the blog, I took it out of lonelypoet.com. There's a separate link where the poetry box, where I can make this, ideas. Yeah, I work with the ideas and I put those things there. That's what the blog is. So that's why there is a two. There are these things. Two things are separate. There was a time that this happened. Say one person, that is one person came to me and said, okay, I have to read like a couple of pages before I actually reach your poem. I said, scroll down and read the poem and go. You don't need to read the whole thing. So people's reaction comes in. At that time I had some little bit of these small games which you can play with Java. I found all those JavaScript games and other things which I added into my Lonely Poet. One lady with whom I had a good communication. Once I was actually I said, hey, hello. I came in the evening. I was saying hello to her, and she immediately said, no, I'm waiting. I'm actually. Then I said, you're waiting for me. Yeah, this game. How do I actually? I said, okay, who plays that game? Now, I don't even know. I just put it there for people. There are good. Then I actually looked at that time. When I looked at the counter of that page, I can see it gets about a significant amount of hits that are coming in there. It goes directly into that. People have bookmarked it and coming directly to play those games. So you don't know how people react to your thing. So that's one of the things I want to say. Where it will be a separate thing. I'm planning to actually make it active. I think there is a Sajimon Ashan channel which I make it active. Or if it is not there, I cannot get in. I may have to recreate something else. Something like Tarot Ashan or something like that, or Ashan Tarot. I will do something like that, instead of doing it in this channel. But I may actually link it to to my Facebook and other thing. But should I? I don't know. So because I'm not a professional tarot reader, I don't do any professional astrological predictions or intuitive things. I don't professionally do that. There are, if you want that, there are professionals who does that. And you might want to really contact them. This is just for the fun of everyone, who actually is, sending me cards and, I don't know what other things they send me, they send me the links. I saw the Oracle cards, that is getting shipped out of China. And the other things are, I don't know whether it already shipped out. The Oracle cards got shipped out. But, that's a good price. I looked at the price, but there is one thing. You guys send me the link, but it shows up as my orders. I don't know, maybe Wish.com had some issues with that, or you transferred the things into my, account. I don't know. But whatever happened, it is, it shows up, when I clicked it, linked it, I think it asked me to link, and then maybe that was a problem, so the order, like, it is part of my orders, so that I can track, somehow it all happened. I don't want to go into that chat, that there are like tons of people sitting there. I'm scrolling chat. Earlier today, the Illist Illuminator. Yeah, so the Illist Illuminator, one of the tarot readers, I follow. I told you about that. The lady who broke down. She was trying to do a live tarot show, and she was like, I can't do this. This is impossible, because she got like about 200,000, subscribers. And probably half of the subscribers came there, including me. I went in there, we were trying to even say hi, but she cannot even read, what other people are asking us questions. Like in this, we have, personal messaging, where people can ask, and you can see that one will actually pop up and stay there. Then you can go and read that. That is there. But however, when you are doing a live show and you are going to sit and read that, then I said, okay, good luck reading this. I have first-hand experience. When I was doing blog TV, I had like 790 subscribers in a show. When 50 people come into my show, I'm done. Then I just one-way talk. It's just me doing something like a monologue, talking things through, and read my poem and just go. That's why I said, I was not even mentioning anything. Because it will become like that, because more and more people will come in there, asking questions of you, can I do this or can I do that? And in between, somebody saying, can you answer a question somebody asked in Bora? I answer those questions, very discreetly. Some of the things I can answer, and the question that was asked there, it has got not much with poetry, but it is generally a literature question, which other people are answering better than me. So that's where I thought, okay, yeah, why should I answer that? But it still came up. That came up, so that's where things are, and I'm that, like, yesterday we had a tarot show, and that was a video yesterday I made. That I don't know. I mean, I'm not a very I'm not a very big supporter of all these occulty things. I'm not. I believe that there is a there is a little bit of adventure not knowing what is going on and what can happen. But maybe, for the purpose of knowing what happened, so that is where I actually go. So in about, say, 60% of the things which I don't even follow is the other way around. In reality, many people say, yesterday I said, about 65%, 60 to 65% will only come true. For me, it is the other way around. I mean, maybe about 35 to 40% is what can actually happen. But that is not the future. That is the past, where things can actually come. And, like yesterday, that guy was saying, there was no communication, nothing is happening. There were some this thing, but still, you guys care about each other. That is true. That's very true. I mean, it can once in a blue moon, one guy or a girl can come out and say things. And when you look at what their past readings of specific months and weeks and things like that, it may not even connect to you at all. It may not even, say, you may feel like they are talking about somebody else. So yeah, as these things are very general, personal. I don't know whether, like I once mentioned in one of my shows, I only met one person who tried to interpret, but that was not even a tarot reading or anything. That was pure psychic reading, holding on to your hand. That I have seen many people does. Maybe to understand the energy level. That's what we can say. But then saying things, and it may be connect, but it connected very well. That is true. But how many people in the world exist like that? I don't know. So. So that is the thing. Escape the deceptive world. Let's get into the poem. So those are the things I can say. I mean, many people may not agree with me even in the idea of doing any shows like that. I know, but this is to a great extent. We are all trying to have fun here, isn't it? I mean, this is not like a serious place, where professionally read astrological or tarot or psychic readings, where some people are there looking into some sort of a crystal. I have seen, once in I think French Fest. And this year, I don't think any of those things will happen. I enjoyed those festival days. One person at that time, a long time back, in '98, I think the first year I came in here with this crystal. It's like a very transparent ball kept in on a stand. It was covered, and then we went in there, and that person was looking into this. And then I didn't really read, but because he was asking like $25, for a reading. But I have seen other people going there and reading, and they were like, "Oh my God, really?" Things like that. I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that, because it's like maybe 50 people, standing around and just listening to that." And if they, she, he, I think it was a he, it was a guy. Yeah, it was a guy. There was a girl too with him. That guy. What if he's going to say, "Whoa, you remember the time you had sex with that woman? That was not good. You should not have ditched her. You should have stayed with her. You have a child in that, or something like that. I'm not saying there is, but if that guy says, then I was like, who are we talking about? So I mean, he's saying things like that to people, good and bad. And like I said, when I read palms, I just say, what I feel immediately. I don't look around. That is one of the bad things I do. My bad. So that's where it is. That's how it is. So we have to be very very careful what we do. I mean, this is for the purpose of entertainment should be seen as entertainment. uh, Even though many people, you don't know how people actually, for suddenly when you say it's going to be a very bad time, when our person is already sitting in hyper depression, and you come out and say you're going to have more bad times coming to you, that may actually trigger a suicide. See, it's like, you remember the actor Robin Williams, one of my favorite actors, very fantastic comedian, stand-up comedian, and things like that. But unfortunately, he had some serious depression sitting in, and he got a news that was not fully authentic. He got a news that he may have Parkinson's or something like that. That triggered a suicide. He went and committed suicide. Um, Later on, they are saying, it was only a partial diagnosis. He didn't stay alive for the full diagnosis to happen. And I was like, is that really true? But I don't know what that was even really the reason. But from my look at, you can push a person into outside. So be careful about what you are saying and what you are doing, because what even that is one of the disclaimers I'm going to say even now. When I do those kind of things, seriously, there is no basis for this. I don't know anything about the tarot reading. I'm just reading some online books and other things about these tarots and watching the shows to see what is this card, what exactly these cards means. And many of these cards are based on Jewish Kabbalah things and other things. Um, I don't even follow Jewish Kabbalah thing. So the divine aspect of it is gone already. Many people actually say, Spirit, tell me. I'm not going to say that, because I know what spirit means for me, and I'm not going to go play around with that. I mean, that's for sure. So that's why I think let the poem be sitting there, and I have to make these things clear. Maybe I will do this continuously for the next some more days, so that everybody is on the same page when it comes to it. Spitting some tea. Nice. Black seed water. This is tea made with black seed water. I will give you a brief explanation about how I make it. You need to go to Walmart. Okay, go to Walmart. Then in Walmart, where there is a hunting and camping area, where you will get this small kettle. It's not a very big kettle. It's a small kettle. It will cost you like about $6 to $7 depending on your location. You buy one of those kettles, and you need to get one of these tea. Um, you know, something like a bowl where you can put tea inside. You make something like a tea bag or something like that. You buy one of those things. Those two things. Then you need to go and find some Indian grocery store. You'll get Darjeeling tea, the Darjeeling tea or Assam tea. I use the Assam tea because I'm used to. My father was in Assam for a long time, so even from a very younger age, I use the Assam tea. Very tasty, but it takes a little time to cook. This is where this bowl comes in handy. Then what I do really is, you need to go when you go to those Indian grocery store, whether you can go to an Indian grocery store, or Pakistani grocery store, or Middle Eastern grocery store. In all these places, these things are available. Um, you go to this store, or you can order online. You go to Amazon.com. You can order all these good things online. And but the kettle I am talking about and the bowl, you may not get it. If I find it, I will actually give you a link about it. But I have this kettle. Then I'm going to tell you what to do with the kettle and all. This is a unique way of making tea. Then you need to get these black seeds. Black seeds you can online. You can get it in Amazon or any other website. You will get the black seeds. Get the black seeds. Do not put too much of these black seeds in it. You put those black seeds in one of it, maybe I would say half a teaspoon. Even half a teaspoon is too much. I mean, quarter of a teaspoon of this black seed in it. Then you put that tea, roast it very well, make sure that it is all tightened up, then put it in there, and little above half level of water you need to fill in the kettle. And then the first time you use the kettle, you use full water and directly put the tea. But that you are not going to drink that. That is seasoning that kettle. That's what initially you do. You put this tea in there, maybe a tablespoon of tea in there with filled with water. Don't fill it overfill. There is a max limit there. Little above that, you fill it in, heat it up, fully heated. When it whistles, push it back there, keep it there 24 hours, and then you use the kettle. This is to season that kettle to get into the tea taste. Then you use this bowl and fill in the water and heat it up. Once the water heats up, stop it. Okay, stop it, and all the whistle and everything goes down completely. Then heat it a little bit in low flame for maybe another 2 to 3 minutes or until it whistles back out. Then take that and use that tea. That's the tea I use. I don't use any milk. I love using milk, but I'm lactose intolerant. So I use the coffee creamer and I make a milk out of the coffee creamer. What I do is it's nothing. What I do is I take a cup of water, okay, and maybe 3/4 of cup of water, and then mix 2 big tablespoons of this. When I say big, when you take a tablespoon of something, you top it up. No, make a pyramid of it and put it in, and you put it into hot water. Microwave it or hot water you make out of something. You get that, mix it very well. Then maybe microwave it for another 40-50 seconds. That is what my milk is. That I add to this. That's it. That is it. There are cardamom things you can add, but those are spicy things, which you may not like the taste of it. Some people add cinnamon. They like cinnamon tea. One of my very close friend's daughter. When she was, they were here and they moved to Ohio. Before they moved to Ohio, she comes in and she's like, "Do you have cinnamon powder?" And when I give her the tea, she take the tea and then add the cinnamon, then add other than this milk thing which I make. She adds that or you can get cashew milk or almond milk. You can use that, but yeah, some people use those kind of things and enjoy it. Some people like adding making tea with honey. I use brown sugar, so things like that. So just want to give you an idea about it. Still I'm not going to give you the I'm not going to give you the meat recipe. That is different. Everybody asks me how can I keto that. It is, I don't know whether it is keto, but it is not a lot of thing, but you have to have the patience. That is the very, of the 100% of the ingredients, 90% is patience. Rest of the things are, I'm not going to tell you how to, because if you don't have the patience to do it, don't even try it. Because you are going to fail miserably. When I say miserably, it will be misery. You will not like the food, you will not eat it, you will not, enjoy it, you will start cursing yourself for it. You don't want to do that. I don't want you to do it. So that's why you make your own recipe out of it. If you are in front of me in real, you will see me making it. The reason why I'm saying is, these recipes which I actually make up from existing recipes, I actually put my own touch into it. This is where things go bad. When that my own touch happens, say something where somebody says you use 2 tablespoons of, meat spices, with the spicy mix, you use that, then what are you going to get? You are going to get a curry, or you are going to get that taste of it. It will not come as like what I wish. Do you understand? Say I have a specific taste, and I grew up with that taste, and you are going to like that taste. But when you make it, I know this ingredient should go this much, and I stop at that. sometimes it's not sometimes. 100% time, people won't follow that. They actually come up with their own touch. There you are going to get people who learned it from me, wrote it down, and go on and make those things, and then end up with, man, it doesn't taste like you would make. I said that is the blessing of my touch. I say that, maybe it is, but still, the difference is that when I learned things from my sister, and it never comes like she makes. My sister makes some of the best cooking. My sister-in-law learned everything from my sister. It's not as good as my sister, but still, she is an amazing, amazing cook. My sister-in-law's cousin is an awesome cook. You know, they are doctors, and my sister-in-law is a teacher. So they have other things to do, but they come and they enjoy doing it. That's one of the key factors. Instead of forcing yourself and doing something, you need to enjoy doing it. They enjoy doing it. That's the best part. So there you go. Someday I will actually, like I said, I may have to do a cooking show where I will show, okay, this is how I make that meat. But do I have the patience to do it? Even I don't know how to edit those things. Maybe I should get somebody who know how to do all these things like editing and all. I don't know how to do all those things. That person should be there along with me when I make the video. Then we will put the video on, on thing how I make that meat. It's very tasty. That's the main part. It's tasty, but you can make it spicy. A couple of my relatives love the spicy side of things. They enjoy it. I enjoy it. Even though I'll be drooling through my nose and my eyes, because of the spiciness, but we enjoy it. But it can be made in the way I make it. You can make it mild right now. So yeah, I was trying my best to push it to this thing. I'm out of words right now, and I'm a little sleepy. That's another thing. I slept a lot. It's 5:30 already. How can I sleep at 5:30 in the evening? That's not right. So let's go into our poem, and I'll read the poem. This is an interesting poem. Escape the deceptive world. The thick fog, like a slow glider, came upon the gravel road red with soil, and dead leaves of the gone-by fall. Sleepy pines sighed at the naughty dance. Sleep from the night before lingered, as shadow from a bad dream roamed. What mistreatment you felt, my dear, but in that prison awake you remain. Oh, did you see me walking through that fog on a path unknown away from you and life? And every piece of music and sound reminded you about my smile and a little joke I told you. Barren lands of the east, deserts of the south, frozen tundra of the north, all holds deception of dark magic you and I can't see. And in sickness, our mind binds in hatred and aches. The broken record of my life again played. Oh, you are the love from birth till now I sought. I am the love from birth till now in your depth you felt. That no deception of the material world break our hearts. Power of minds in love, oh dear, nothing can defeat. Let the passions of the world show you, not to deceive you. Let not the bounds of the relations and obligations stop you. Let us unite all in the bonds of love, of you, me, into us. Dang, I like that. Something I need to change that. Maybe tomorrow when I do the show, I will actually change it. Tomorrow I probably will be having a better time shaving. The thing is, I forgot to charge my shaver, and it's just sitting there and charging now. So I was like, okay, let it charge. One day, not shaving for a day, it's not going to do bad. Maybe 2 3 days. It will be pretty. Really scruffy, and it doesn't look good in that first 2 3 days. Then, even if I grow a beard, it is like I have gray hair, you know, it is not fully gray. That's the thing. In between this area, this area, you see, you can see a mark there that is coming up. That particular area is very, very dark hair. I mean, if that also goes completely into gray, then it'll look good. I will look better. But the in between all these, I don't like it. Many people say, "Oh, the salt and pepper look is good." I said, "I don't like it. I don't like it on my face. I just don't. I mean, there are only two people who can actually tell me to shave. That is, one already passed away. That is my mother. When you are not married, your mother has the right to tell you, don't have a beard. Then you don't have a beard. When you get married, that opinion changes from your mother to your wife. If your wife says, "No, I don't want you to have a beard," then you don't have a beard. My father never had a beard because my mother never liked it. So, but when I went to India in 2018 with the beard, and that beard I put henna on it, so it was orange in color. So I went there because most of this white part looks orange. So I went there, and my mother looked at it and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, no," and I shaped it well. That's one of the things I did. So I shaped it, and she looked at it and said, "Okay, yeah, not so bad." My sister was like, "What? I was expecting you to say shave it off." So that happened. So I was like, "Okay, thank you." So I came here, and then only I shaved off. Um, just wanted to know how it all look. So down the road, I may actually grow a beard, but not now. But if my girl comes and say no, then it's a no. Little boss, you should soon become the boss. Okay, you know what I mean. That is where our life should be. That's where this show ends.